product model and product development. So give it up for Matthias.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share with you my high leverage factors for product transformation success. And this has been my professional focus for the last 8 years. So everything that I'm sharing with you today is from real transformations that I've witnessed myself. So it's all from the field, right? The first thing I want to tell you is, yes, reality can be a bit messy. It is not always perfect. And this is normal, right? It's okay. This is how transformations really happen. But I also want to encourage you, right? I've had the opportunity to help 7 different product companies who said that they wanted to transform to the product model. So I know for a fact that it's possible. It can be done. So you should be optimistic, right? And here they are, right? And before I share them with you, I want you to know 2 things about them, right? Number 1, none of these are preconditions. They're all factors for you to establish, develop, and maintain through your transformation. And the second is, none of them have to do with how well you understand or are able to apply in practice the ideas of the product model. I consider them to be of higher leverage than this based on my experience. And the last one, we'll see if it might surprise you or not. All right. Number 1, is your transformation aligned with the authentic pressure that your company is acting under and the timelines associated with that pressure, right? So this is number 1 on my list because ultimately it's the one with the highest leverage. I also believe it's the one most likely for product people like you and me to possibly underestimate or misjudge. What I mean by this is every product company is always under pressure. There's always pressure, right? It's just a matter where the pressure is coming from. You can see some of the reasons at the top there. What's really important, though, are the high leverage questions at the bottom. This is the type of conversations that your board, your CEO, are debating and planning for all the time. And that is, what is the one thing about this company and our business that has to change? And how quickly does it have to change? Which leads into, what are we optimizing for, right? And this is where you're going to find your highest leverage priorities and the reasons for them, right? Your capability targets for the organization. And ultimately, this is where your genuine, authentic transformation drivers really come from. And I'm sharing this with you because, I mean, we're product people. We see the product operating model like, oh my, I love all these ideas, you know? Let's meet customers, let's prototype, let's innovate, let's mobilize engagement through empowerment, let's have problem-solving teams, and let's have outcome-based governance and all these things. We get all excited, right? And maybe that's you, and you say, we should do more of these things, and you experiment, and then you say, we need to make this bigger, and we need senior support. I've heard CEO support is important. And what's going to happen is you're going to eventually run into the following question, right? Why are we even talking about this? That's what these people are going to say. And that is because we need to understand this picture, right? The real pressure the company is under. Because if we don't, your transformation is just going to become a side quest, right? It's going to, at worst, it's going to get killed. Okay? Number 2. Are you developing demand for change and trust capital in your organization? And then are you managing that well? Are you converting it? Right? So imagine you're the senior anchor of a big transformation, maybe a CPO or something. You're going to be balancing 3 factors, the green circles here, right? Bottom left and top left, they are like power bars. You build up the energy, then you can use that energy and convert it to other things. Bottom left, it's the degree of receptivity in your organization to try new things, their openness and willingness to challenge the status quo, the demand for more change. You can build this up by small-scale experiments and encouraging people to learn stuff and maybe inviting people to participate, to drive small-scale experiments and build up momentum, right? All the bottom-up stuff. Top left, that's your personal trust capital, right? That's something you have to earn. You earn it by displaying to your people that you understand situation, you really care, and that you're able actually to progress situations for the better, right? And then on the right-hand side, that's your progression of mandated change. That's your ability to change things that only the most senior people have access to change. There are certain things in the organization only you have influence over. And when the timing is right, you need to be able to make that happen. So to manage your runway for the transformation, we always need to balance these three factors. So for example, if you don't have the power bars on the left very high and you force a lot of change, you're going to get pushback. You know, change is hard. That's what people are going to have as an excuse, right? On the other hand, if you build up the power bars on the left and then you're not able to pull the trigger when the timing is right, you may risk losing the trust, because their most strongest advocate, they see that you're hesitating. They might feel as if it's all talk and no walk, right? I see people nodding. You know what I'm talking about, right? So the key takeaway here is to understand that we need to manage all these factors. We need to accurately judge every single one of these and understand how we're going to balance them to gradually extend our runway. If we fail this, you're going to see your runway shortening pretty quickly, and that's going to end your transformation. All right? Third and last, do you have senior leadership willing to take the hit? And I'm going to have to explain this one a little bit more. So many transformations, not all of them, but many of them, you may find yourself eventually faced with what I've called here an especially challenging situation, right? This is a situation where there's stuck negativity, there's this drain on energy and engagement, there's stuff happening underneath the curtain, and it's basically acting as a drag on morale in your organization. There's some specific criteria. An example of this could be maybe an open conflict, or maybe there's two camps. Maybe we acquired a company. Maybe there's just a disagreement on something specific. It doesn't matter. But the point is, there's no obvious best solution here, right? There's no easy way out. And every option that you can see is going to come at a personal cost for somebody involved with the situation, a real cost, right? So you are going to eventually be faced with a difficult choice here, because this has to be resolved. We can't just let it persist forever. You can choose avoidance. Maybe that's how we got here, right? Or you can commit, or you can just delay to find a win-win situation. You can assist on a win-win option, right? Or you can recognize this situation for what it really is, right? It's probably not going to be a win-win option anytime soon. And that means somebody, that might be you, are going to have to take the hit. Take the hit. What I mean by that is any decision around this sticky situation is going to come at a personal cost to you. You're going to feel it, and it's going to suck, right? That's why people avoid it. So what it really is about is understanding this, this reality, right? The delaying option is not a neutral choice, right? It's gradually only going to tax your organization. Every month that this persists, your organization is suffering. And you need to realize that this fantasy option probably is not there. And what we need to do, somebody needs to shoulder the responsibility to get the organization out of a bad situation, right? And commit to the realistic best option. And I'm sharing this with you because you need to be ready for this situation, if this might be you in the future, right? And recognize that this is a possible pivotal moment. I've seen this one handled really well once. Yes, it really sucked, but after it was resolved, it released an enormous amount of energy and engagement that propelled the transformation to fantastic success. I've also seen this one handled poorly, which kind of slowly strangled a very promising situation. So, to summarize, understand and make sure your transformation is in alignment with the authentic company pressure and the timelines associated with that pressure. Make sure your transformation is aligned with the timeline as well. Develop and convert receptivity and trust capital, and manage the mandated change accordingly so that you can extend your runway over time. And have and develop leadership willingness to be able to take the hit when necessary. That's my talk. If you liked it, you can download the presentation using the QR code. I have a personal website as well, and if there are any questions, I'll stay here after the talk and answer them as best I can. Thank you.